face of criminal justice and law enforcement in this country. But what didn't change is the overcrowded prisons, the pockets of poverty that exist all around the country. If you pay attention to what's going on with all the violence in the United States of America, in the summertime you see all these kids getting killed in certain neighborhoods. They are always the same communities, the same inner city communities, where there's a lot of kids dropping out of school. There's a high rate of unemployment, and there's a high rate of violence. Same places every year. And what this country has done, rather than respond to the causes of all this chaos and violence and murder, they've been addressing the symptoms. In other words, they want to hire more police and they want to build more jails. But that doesn't get at the cause of the problem. The cause of the problem is the fact that kids in your age category don't have the skills and abilities to go out and compete in the so-called mainstream America employment arena. In other words, if you don't have an education, if you haven't been to college, if you don't have a skill or a trade, then you're going to end up your entire life living in poverty and hustling, trying to get by. Because the fact of the matter is that no matter who you are, you can be rich or you can be poor, you can be black, you can be white, but everybody wants to be somebody. And in a poor neighborhood where you have a lot of dropouts, fragmented families, no father in the home, and people going to jail all the time, those people still want to be recognized. They want to be somebody, but they don't have the legitimate skills in order to do that. So what do? They make money the best way they can, any way they can, because everybody needs to have fresh money. So they go out and they join gangs, they try to sell drugs, but at the same time, they think that they're getting recognition. Some of these young kids who are in gangs because they've been in the penitentiary or because people are afraid of them, they think that, I'm somebody. People know me. People respect me. But that's a terrible way to have to earn respect. So that's the problem we're dealing with. And that's the problem that you young people are going to have to deal with, because you are the future generation. And the best thing you can do for yourselves is to get all the education you possibly can. You have to go to college. And every one of you is smart enough to do that. Not one person is born dumb in this world. You're not born dumb, but you are a product. Every one of you is a product of your environment. That means it depends on what kind of environment you're raised in. If you're raised in an environment of violence and poverty, from the time you're small children, all you hear about is who went to jail, who got stabbed, who got shot. School is, why you want to go to school? That's a waste of time. If you hear all that nonsense, that gets into your head and you end up doing that. But you have to pull yourself up from that. So the most important thing I can get over to you today during this interview is the fact that you kids have to prepare yourselves to go out and be skillful in good legitimate jobs. If you don't want to go to college, you can get a trade. You can go into service industries like the police and fire, like I did. But this is the age of technology. I remember when you made a phone call, you pick up the phone and you'd hear somebody say, operator, and you tell them what number you wanted them to call, and they would call. None of you know anything about that, okay? Now, when you know something about that? Okay, well, you must have done some research on the subject, right? Okay, good. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that was thousands and thousands of jobs. They had telephone operators all over the country just to do that. When you pick up the phone, they ask you, what number did you want? And they put the number in there for you. Now, technology takes care of that. All you got to do is punch some buttons and you get a number. So the point is, all those thousands of jobs that existed then, they don't even exist anymore. All the secretaries that were hired and worked in offices, so when you call somebody's office, you would actually speak to a live person. Now, more than likely, you will speak to a machine. If you want to talk to this person, dial this. You want to talk to that person, dial this. You want to talk to that, dial this. Years ago, they had people performing those duties, and that meant job. So what I'm trying to get over to you is the fact that technology is taking the place of low-level jobs all over, everywhere you look. Companies are downsizing because machinery is doing the work that people did. Now, if you want to keep up with the times, you got to be prepared to be people, one of the people that run that machine. On farms, you know, these huge farms that produce corn and other farm products. They used to have a lot of people working out there, working in the fields, doing it. Now they have machines that can go out and do everything the people did. They can have one machine that replaced 100 people with only one person operating the machine. So what I'm talking about is the age of technology, and this is the age of technology that you're in right now. And the technology is changing every day, and you have to be able to keep up with it if you want to get recognized and you want to be somebody. Because being somebody in the criminal world, not where it's at. You're going to be somebody, but you'll be somebody in the penitentiary, or you be somebody that just got killed in a drive-by. So that's basically, I kind of went through the timeline between the 1950s and now to show you how things have changed. Now, another thing that hasn't changed that much is the quality of education in some of our schools. That's a big problem. Big problem. And that's why kids who graduate from underperforming schools go to college and they can't make it. Kids graduating from high school and they're reading at the 5th grade level. That doesn't work. And that's some of the stuff we're facing now. So if any of you ever become politicians or you become active in trying to change that atmosphere, then you fight for the best schools you can get, the best teachers in the best schools, because that is your future. Your education is your future. This is an education you're getting here right now. I can remember when they didn't have any young people doing what you're doing here right now. So this is a big advancement. You're learning production. And years ago, you didn't have kids doing this. You had, kids out of college would be doing it. And being a basketball player, an athlete, to make money, that's very, very small part of the population. Most of us and most of you don't have the gift and the talent, the physical gift and talent that will make you like $10 million a year for playing a game. So don't count on that nonsense. I mean, it's fine for those who can do it, but get your education. Okay, I've done all the talking, so let's talk back.
It said that you have a summer program for kids like gang exposed to college.
Yeah. I've had a program for the past 5 years where we take what I call at-risk kids from the community, from Woodlawn and some from Inglewood. Basically, those are the two major areas where we draw kids. And we take kids over to the University of Chicago, and they stay there. Right now, they've been staying there, although we don't have a program this year because we're going to reconstitute the program, but in the past, they've stayed there for 3 weeks. Last year, we had 30 boys and 15 girls, and they stayed on the University of Chicago campus for 3 weeks. They lived in the dormitories, they used the classrooms, and they stayed there day and night. They didn't go home for 3 weeks. Now, the program is designed to convince you that you could be in a college environment. It's no big thing. Millions of kids have done it before you guys, okay? So here I'm at the University of Chicago. You're saying this to yourself, wow, I'm at the University of Chicago. I'm in the dormitory, and oh, now I see what's going on over here, you know? And that's designed to give you confidence that you can do it too, just like anybody else. You don't have to be mystified or put off by the fact that you're getting ready to go to one of the most prestigious schools in the world. It's no big thing. You can do it, but you have to prepare yourself for it. And the program is to have an influence on each participant where they can see themselves actually doing that. And we have people come in and talk to you like people like me who've been through a lot of stuff, you know, had a lot of challenges. And we try to convince you by showing you ways